Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ian Preston here on my second YouTube channel, Ian Preston Reviews. Welcome back to another brand new video of movie reviews, and I will be reviewing a movie that just came out this weekend. And please bear with me on my storytelling because I had just recently watched this movie. I think it's the 10th movie in the Fast and Furious film called Fast X or Fast 10 or something, but Fast X or Fast 10, and really, I've seen maybe a few Fast and Furious movies on TV and maybe a couple on my, maybe with watching with movie reactors videos or something, but excuse me, but I've never seen one in the theater before, and boy was it awesome to experience. But anyway, it's called Fast X. Louise something. It starts with an L, but I'm just not sure. That's the director. It has Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Jason Momoa, who I think did a really awesome villain, John Cena, Jason Statham or something. But yeah, it's pretty much some of the actors and people I could mention. But it starts out with, how did it start out with? It starts out with 10 years ago, where Jason Momoa and his dad are like together, and then Vin Diesel, or Dominic is his name, they steal the vault. They get chased down. Dominic survives the jumping into the water from this vehicle, but Jason Momoa's character, I think his character's name was Dante, his dad dies, and then we go to the Los Angeles in present day. um, Vin, Vin Diesel's character and his son are like doing a driving lesson, and he tells them that, and then his son tells him, "You're not afraid of anything." And then he said he is afraid, but he said you just have to have faith. And him and his excuse me, his family, friends, they have a little barbecue, and his mother tells him how it's been such a good road for Dominic, Vin Diesel's character. And anyway, he goes into the garage. He looks at photos, pictures of Paul Walker's character, and they play instrumental of the instrumental version of little slow instrumental version of "See You Again," which really kind of got to me emotionally. And Vin Diesel and his wife, played by Michelle Rodriguez, they're in the bed together. Then the next thing you know, some blonde lady comes in, pulls up. She's like out of breath. She was like, "Ugh," or something, and she explains the whole thing, that a war is coming. That she explains about how Jason Momoa's character comes in and sabotages her, and how she fights off all those guards, and how they've kidnapped family members of those guards, and she fights off the guards. And next thing you know, like the elevator scene is an intense scene. And then the next morning, Michelle Rodriguez's character and Vin Diesel's character, they leave for Rome. They find their buddies, or well, technically it's their family, in Rome, because then Jason Momoa's character is about to set off a bomb. A huge chase pursuits through all of them and all, and fights and all, and they've had to escape, I think, vehicles to escape them exploding, causing wreckages, and police going everywhere in Rome. It's just crazy, but it was one heck of an experience in the theater. And then eventually the bomb that looks like a freaking Death Star goes into the water, and then it blows up, causing a big in Rome. And then Michelle Rodriguez is arrested, and then when next thing you know, it's all over the news, and then Vin Diesel's character is a wanted man. And then all of a sudden, excuse me, Vin Diesel's son is about to get kidnapped by some federal law agents, but then his aunt, the son's aunt, fights them off. But then John Cena's character, Uncle Jacob, comes in and helps fight them off too, and they really kick their butts. And then the son, Vin Diesel's son, and John Cena's character, they escape in a car, and on their way up they play Marky Mark's "Good Vibration" song. And John Cena said that he was an underwear model. It's true, he was. Mark Wahlberg was a Marky Mark. Marky Mark was, when he was doing that rapping stuff in the 90s. And Vin Diesel's like in Rio de Janeiro or something, I can't remember, meets up with some people in some big party, And then Jason Momoa's character comes, talks about how he wants to um, kill him and how he killed his father. And then they get into a race, but then Jason Momoa sabotages it by one of them dying. And man, Jason Momoa, if you're watching this, you did a a fantastic job on being a bad guy, because he was all like doo 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 doo, and he was like his character was just nuts. His character was a clown, but luckily Vin Diesel managed to save his one. I think she was like a sister. I think she was a sister-in-law or something, and then Brie Larson's character tries to convince some dude or something, and they have like little on the computers. They have like little things from the previous films, and then she was gonna break out Michelle Rodriguez's character, but tricks her, and then next thing you know, Michelle Rodriguez is on a bed with that lady that came to her house, and then that lady, the blonde lady with short hair, uses something to like get out of the bed, and she frees Michelle Rodriguez. They get into a fight, and then Michelle Rodriguez tries to get out, and she realizes they're in a Antarctica area. They're in Antarctica, so they get coats on. She's like feeling chilly. She was annoying. That lady was annoying, and Michelle Rodriguez was telling her that her plan sucks. And earlier, I like how before all that happened, sorry about my storytelling. Brie Larson's character informs Vin Diesel after a bar fight. She informs Vin Diesel about everything with his wife in custody and all, and then his friends are like coming, and then they end up getting like they've they've searched something on the computer from some blonde dude in a computer area. The brothers kind of fight a little bit, but they eventually stop, and then eventually they meet up with Jason Statham's character. They fight off federal agents, and they team up with Jason Statham's character, and Vin Diesel's son and his brother Jacob. They're on a plane. One of them's watching Minions on the TV. They escape and they fight off federal agents and use a escape plane to escape the plane. And yes, and then excuse me if I'm a little mixed up and all, but Vin Diesel is like walking and then and realize that the dude that Miss Brie Larson's character talked to earlier, he kind of looked, can't remember what his name. He almost looks like a big Dolph Lundgren guy. He fights off some people and hits somebody with a watch, and then the next thing you know, um, Vin Diesel walks into this room with this tent with a bunch of pictures of his family, friends, and then gets a phone call from Jason Momoa's character, and then Vin Diesel gets arrested, or Dominic gets arrested. And earlier it was weird how Jason Momoa is like talking to how he can control vehicles sometimes with these weird things, and he's talking to these dead police officer bodies, which is weird, I think. But other than that, Dominic gets arrested, and then he straps in because he's prepared. Apparently, Jason Momoa brings Dominic to the bridge that Dominic killed. Well, Dante is Jason Momoa's character, Dante's dad, on, and he wanted to get his revenge. And they all have everything ready. Brie Larson comes in and fights off, and so does the guy that was with Vin Diesel, or Dominic, and then they fight off. He gets shot but survives, but Brie Larson gets shot, and then I think Dominic's sister comes and like takes her to the hospital after Jason Momoa gets away to Portugal. Then John Cena's character and Dominic's son gets spotted, and they have this huge car that has a bunch of these cannons. They get into a chase in the canyon. They fire off, destroying the army. But while the things get stuck, and then Dominic comes out of a plane and then pursues Dante after Jacob and his son. And then the next thing you know, Jacob gets it. As they're going through the tunnel, they sound like TIE fighters almost. And then Dominic's son like manages to fix the problem, but then gets snatched by Dante. And then next thing you know, very sad, heartbreaking sacrifice, Jacob lights up the things and goes like flipping over the other side of the road to clear the path for Dominic, and then all of a sudden a huge explosion destroys part of Dante's army and kills Jacob, sadly, which was a sad sacrifice. And then next thing you know, they're like in pursuit. The helicopters try taking Dominic away, but he uses the nitro oxide to like speed up, destroying the helicopters, and then they spin around, and then Dominic's son jumps and then lands in Dominic's car with Dominic and gets away from Dante, and they escape but get on a dam, and then the next thing you know, these semi trucks with gasoline in them controlled by Dante come up, and they're about to like pursue them, and the next thing you know, the Dominic's friends or part of his family that were coming on a plane to save Dominic and them, they go crashing into a canyon because the dude that was with Dominic that launched him from the plane, that Brie Larson talked to earlier, I can't remember his name, but he betrayed Dominic and said, you can't always protect your whole family. And apparently we learned that he had earlier, 10 years ago, he teamed up with Dante, and now they're planning to kill Dominic and his son. And then they go like down the dam and avoid the collision from the semi trucks going into the water. They manage to get out, hug, but then Dante detonates the whole entire dam in the canyon, and then Dominic and his son hug, and then detonate goes off. And then this next scene comes, and then Michelle Rodriguez and that blonde lady see that there's a huge giant submarine with, I think, probably Dominic's sister, or I think one of his sisters probably on it. And then apparently that blonde lady is now working with Michelle Rodriguez. And the film ends after they get on the submarine, and then the credits start rolling. And then in a post-credit scene, there are some guards going through this area, and then one of the guards go in, gets a phone call from Dante, and then it reveals to be Dwayne Johnson. And then Dwayne Johnson says, I'm coming for you, you some bitch. But yeah, and then that was the end of the movie. But it was a great post-credit scene and great movie. I finally got to experience a Fast and Furious movie. And I don't know if Dominic and his son are really dead. I hope they survived. I mean, I remember how usually when they would release these movies, first they'd be released 1 year, and then 2 years, or 1 year, 2 years after, another one would be released. So we may have to wait 2 years for Fast 11 to come out. But if I rate this movie, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. This was a hell of a ride. But I gotta say, this is on my second YouTube channel, Lee and Preston Reviews. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button. And thank you all to the cast for making this awesome movie possible and the series possible. And subscribe, turn on the notification bell, check out Ian Preston, my first channel. Link will be in the description. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Love you all.